For we know that all things work together for good, for those who love God and are called according to his purposes. That's Romans 8:28 from the King James Version, my favourite version of the Bible. This has been my favourite verse for as long as I can remember, since becoming a Christian. In the early days, it was a verse of comfort when things around me were going wrong, and it was probably more a verse of hope than a belief. But now, after being a Christian for 40 years, I can truly say with all my heart that this is a verse that I can truly stand on. Because God has never let me down. He has always turned my mourning into dancing. He's turned my weeping into joy and my sorrow into laughter so many times. Now, it's not always immediate. Often it isn't. And sometimes the waiting can be painful. But it becomes less painful as the truth becomes more and more real in my life. At the age of 81, Benjamin Franklin said at a conference in 1787, he said, "Sir, I have lived a long time, and the longer I live, the more convincing proofs I see of this truth, that God governs the affairs of men. God gets involved in our lives, and he can turn things for our good." You see, the two things in this scripture are actually one. All things do work together for our good for those who love God and are called according to his purposes. And for those who are called according to his purposes, all things work together for our good. You can't have one without the other. If you love him, you will work out his purposes for your life. It's a servant thing. It's an obedience thing. It's a love response thing. And when we love God like that, he delights to do us good. He carries us through the tough stuff until we can stand again to face another day. And then he holds out his hand and he walks with us into his promises and into his good purposes. Bless you, Life Church. I hope you enjoy that scripture today.